As I explained in the book, the modern technology that we have makes government more efficient, and it therefore can make government even more dangerous in spying on us, in lying to us, in manipulating its vast powers to our detriment and to its own advantage. And that's why I draw upon this story, this great story from John Wilkes, the English parliamentarian in the late 1700s, who was himself subjected to an unreasonable search through the use of a general warrant issued by the administration of King George III. John Wilkes fought back against that. He fought his charges in court. He eventually won his freedom. And these charges were brought in response to his publication of something called the North Briton. North Briton number 45 contained some harsh criticism of the king, and it was on that basis they arrested him, and they searched for anything that might serve as evidence to his alleged crime. But because of North Briton number 45, and because John Wilkes became such a folk hero across Britain as a result of his fight for freedom, the number 45 became synonymous with John Wilkes and also with the cause of freedom on both sides of the Atlantic. This in turn led to some of the language that we now have in the Fourth Amendment, requiring that the government get a search warrant when it wants to search, and that it state its provisions with particularity, that it state what it's going after with a sufficient degree of particularity so that you know what's lawful to be searched under it.
And yet you argue that today, under the Obama administration, certainly not starting with President Obama, the NSA violates that right to privacy.
Yes.
Explain that.
Yes. So right now the NSA collects cell phone data regarding your cell phone usage going back 5 years. It knows who you have called, who has called you, when the call was made, and how long it lasted. They know that for today, yesterday, the day before, and every day going back at least 5 years. Now, from that, they can discern an enormous amount of information about you. There are graduate researchers who, using their own models, have concluded that using data like that, they can figure out what your political affiliation is, how liberal or conservative, how politically active you are, how religiously active you are, what your religious views are, your health conditions, what medications you might take, an enormous amount of information just by studying your cell phone calling patterns. And yet all of this data is collected through the use of something that I think can at least be analogized to a general warrant. These warrants saying, we want all this information handed over to us. That's not right. It makes the American people understandably, justifiably uncomfortable, and we need to end this practice.